Hey guys, this is Whitney, and welcome back to another episode of Spastic Chatter. Spastic Chatter is a platform meant to feature those in the cerebral palsy community, and I get together weekly with individuals with CP, like myself, to have a kind of uncensored chat, if you will, about what it's like living with this type of disability. And for this week, I have Taylor, and she wrote in wanting to be on Spastic Chatter. And what really, one of the statements that kind of stuck out to me on her submission is that she doesn't let her disability disable her. So we're gonna learn more about Taylor this episode, and I will let Taylor introduce herself. So take it away, Taylor.
Hi everybody, like Whitney said, my name is Taylor. I am 28 years old and I live in Sacramento, California, where currently, right now, it's on fire. Not in the area I'm living in, but everywhere else it's on fire. Let's see, I work at Target as a guest service team lead, and I am happily married to the love of my life for the past 4 years. I have done everything that I've dreamed of. I've graduated from college. Done, I've been in theater, and like Whitney said, I never let my disability disable me. Whenever I want something, I go for it. My cerebral palsy never brings me down.
That's awesome. So you gave me a lot. You've done a lot. So like we're gonna start from ground zero. One of the questions I've started asking my guests, like the very first question, because everybody is different. How did cerebral palsy affect your childhood?
So, for as long as I can remember, I've been bullied and called every single name you can think of in the book. When I was a kid, I would wear corrective braces, like the one I'm currently wearing right now,
Yeah.
on my arm as well as on my foot, because cerebral palsy also affects my right leg, not just my right arm. So people would stare at me, and they would laugh at me, and they would call me, like I said, they would call me different names. Like they would tell me that I'm a freak of nature and that I'm not human. And I won't go into the nitty-gritty details of it all, but it really affected me in a negative way when I was a child. But when I started to grow up and when I started to become a teenager, I came into a crossroads. I said, either I can feel sorry for myself and I can pity myself and let those around me pity me, or I can accept it for who I can accept it as a part of me. I was given this disability for a reason, and it's a part of me, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I decided to go down that road and accept it, and learn to embrace it as a part of who I am.
That's awesome. I think I've had many guests on here, and one of the common, like we all have different like stories about how we grew up and like how cerebral palsy affected us, how it didn't affect us, and things like that. But our childhoods seem to be different. But one commonality that we all have is that we learn as we get into adulthood, we learn to embrace our disability. Because like you said, there's no changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like so that I've noticed that is one common factor with all my guests, myself included, is that we learn to accept. And I think that comes from like maturity of like aging and growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, so you mentioned theater. What made you want to get into theater?
So initially, my parents forced me into theater. they wanted me to do a sport or just something recreationally, and I wasn't good at any sports and I just didn't fit in any sports groups or any other groups that my parents tried to put me in. And I one day went into a child's musical theater program, production, and my parents said, "Hey, go ahead and try that." So I'm like, "All right, whatever." So I was probably 8 or 9 when I did my first play, and after that, I just fell in love with the stage.
That's awesome. So like,
I,
you're the acting side of theater. Like you're not behind the scenes, or are you?
I'm definitely on the stage more than I am behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Like I can kind of relate. Like my story is, I'm a motivational speaker, so I like to be like the stage is like my element, and like I always say that like I'd rather be on a stage in front of like a bunch of people than like have that one-on-one conversations kind of intimidate me. Like they get me nervous, but you put me on a stage in front of a lot of people, I don't have no problem like making a fool of myself, and people think that it's weird, and I'm like, I don't know, that's just how my brain's wired.
I feel the same exact way. Whenever people make fun of me for it, I'm like, hey, it's my character. That wasn't me. That was my character.
Oh, yeah.
Don't blame me.
So what did you go to school for?
So I went to college for pharmacy technology. So I'm basically I went to school to be a pharmacist assistant.
Oh, cool.
So I was the one behind the counter filling prescriptions and like behind the computer typing stuff out. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about your school experience a little bit? Like how was that, like your college experience?
Sure. So I went to a trade school near where I live. So it was more of a sped up process more than a 4-year university. So I was definitely very accepted there in my college, where I went to college, because everybody from all walks of life went to that school. So I'm sure people said stuff behind my back like they always do, but they really seem to accept who I am. And though I did have a teacher towards the end of my college career that emotionally abused me because of my disability. He said I wouldn't be able to graduate, and he just went on and on. And again, I won't go into the details about it, but whenever people say stuff like that to me, like you can't do it, I always tell them, watch me.
Yeah,
watch me.
That's one thing that I do too. So we have So you showed your professor. You showed your professor you graduated and everything.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I loved walking across that stage when I was graduating and shaking his hand and telling him, "I told you so," and walking away.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. You mentioned that college was more accepting, and I totally agree with you on like there's something about the college atmosphere that's so much more. College is the population is so diverse. So like you can basically do whatever you want, and like you're gonna find somebody you're gonna find a group of people that accepts you for who you are. So I totally agree. Let's see. Your introduction had so many things to it. So you're married.
I am.
How did you meet your husband?
So my husband and I were high school sweethearts. He originally was great, well, still is great friends with my brother. So whenever he would come and visit our house to see my brother, I would follow them around like a little puppy dog, and because I had a big crush on him before he had had feelings for me, so I would like follow him around, like notice me, love me, we're going to be together. So yeah, we started dating in 2011 when I was a senior in high school, and we got married in 2016, and we've been happy ever since.
That's awesome. So, what, like, what if he, is there any advice that you would give to someone that's struggling with, like, acceptance of their disability or anything like that?
Of course. So I would say to those that are struggling with acceptance is to, oh my goodness, to look, to first talk to somebody. Talk to somebody that you trust, and someone that you love, or someone that you trust and love, and just talk to them about it. Really, because I feel like getting your feelings out and really hearing them, it really helps you to process what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And just remember that you are you. There's nobody like you in the world. And just because people don't understand your experiences doesn't mean that you should live your life any different from anybody else. You can do whatever you set your mind to, and you should go do it. And if you need someone to talk to, and of course I'm here. If you if you need someone to talk to, I'm here to talk. I'm accepting of everybody, and yeah, if you need a friend or an ear, I'm here for you.
That's very cool. So from your interview, like I spent some key moments that I took away. It's that you, like you said, I like how you put it, you are you. Like there's no it's all about acceptance, and don't never letting your disability disable you, but coming to terms with your disability, and like just really being in tune with yourself.
So, like I said a little bit earlier, we all come into a crossroads of do we pity ourselves and feel sorry for ourselves that we have this disability, or do we accept it as part of who we are and not let anyone control our emotions about it? And when I came into that crossroads, I thought to myself, you know what? There's nothing I can do to change it. No matter how much I want to change it, there are things I can do to strengthen myself, of course, like physical therapy or wearing one of these bad boys. But all in all, it's just learning to love yourself, and it's tough. There are days that I don't love myself, and I wish that this would go away. But it takes time to really accept it as part of who you are, and the first step is deciding that you are going to accept it, and that's the first step into it. And it, like I said earlier, it's hard work accepting it. but it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
And I like to point out that you said something about strengthening your physical, but it's also about strengthening your mental state too. Like you just like there's different things that you can do to strengthen your mental state, like your mental diet, if you will. Like I can like we can all be strong, but it takes a lot to be in tune with your mental, with your inner self talk, if you will.
Mm-hmm. I always say your biggest enemy is yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to really fight yourself to change your mentality. And what I like to do is force myself to change my negative thoughts to positive thoughts. Like if I feel myself saying, "Oh my gosh, those people are over there laughing at me because of my disability," then I'll force myself to change it to they don't understand what I'm going through. I am who I am, and they just don't understand, and that's their problem.
And I like to add on to your what you're saying is that we see people laughing and we assume that they're laughing at us, but they might just be like be laughing. You know what I mean? Like there's always two different scenarios. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's two different sides to the story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have any last words?
Just thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk, Whitney. I've never had a platform like this before, and it's just I really love talking to you today. And to those out there, just keep your head up, keep loving yourself, and just keep doing you.
Awesome. So, do you have anywhere on social media that people can follow you?
I'm sorry?
Do you have anywhere on social media that people can follow you?
Yes, of course. I am excuse me. I am on Instagram. On my tag is at Tay Skelton. That Mrs. Tay Skelton rather. That's MRSTAYSKELTON. Mrs. Tay Skelton.
Cool. I will put that in the description below. And again, awesome. Thank you, Taylor, for wanting to be a part of Spastic Chatter. I had a really good time talking with you. And for those of you that want to be on an episode of Spastic Chatter, there's always a link in the description. Check back next week for another episode of Spastic Chatter. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.